Hi, Uncle Dream. Glad to have you here. How are you? Hoping how's going? Long time no see. Yep. Voice? Yeah, sorry. I was actually a bit silent. For now. Okay, music is up. Isn't coming. Okay. I see. How are you? I'm doing good. Just slowly pressing forward. Um, I will probably today try to make a bit longer stream, 2 hours, that is, so normal size stream. But I'll have to go give my doggo his meds in about an hour, so yeah. Just heads up that I still have to give him his meds. We're almost there. Almost at the time where my mom's will be back. So yeah, I discharged from hospital yesterday. Oh, what happened? So, hospitalized for a month, I see. What happened to Jan? Actually, I'll take Ollie. I push Ollie to the side like this because now she's on a bit better line with alignment to Kronii. Because yes, I've added second Vtuber to this illustration. This is more... I have to say it's very specific illustrative work. We are going to actually focus only on coloring because I've already done most of the... I've done the entire line art and stuff, so the only thing to be done is actually coloring. I'm going to have it also as a speed paint, so for interested ones you'll be able to see the entire process in the form of a speed paint. I have lymphatic cancer, sometimes it caused some problems. Oof. It was really bad response, but from my side, but well, I'm really sorry to hear that. Actually, it's I know that fight with this tends to be very problematic, and I hope you get better really soon. In certain areas the treatments get better, so I'm really hoping that everything is going to turn around. Okay, now just I can walk for some days. I see. That's a bit problematic, isn't it? Not being able to move around properly. Yeah, but problematic, yeah. I feel you. To be fair, I'm personally waiting for some stuff to, for some things to finally be done. How to say this? Oh, isn't well a wheelchair though, so I see. It has to be even worse. To be fair, I'm not really good at, consoling people on such level, to be fair, so really sorry if I sound a bit weird. Well... if I have to say, on my defense, I was diagnosed with a form of an autism, so and it's, really focused on such interactions. Like, it's very difficult for me to just, like, I know what to feel, I know how I feel, I know that it, for example, saddens me when I see people being in this situation, but it's very difficult for me to express what is going through my mind, so something I loved in someone deaf, so I don't know why, know how to cry. Nah, it's okay, it's okay. Well, changing the topic, actually, I've been slowly progressing my book. It's been really difficult for me to press on with stuff. It's been really... It's kind of a chore now, as I'm doing this for the third time, but I'm from a hospital background, I see every day, so I can't console anyone. To be fair, I've been spending every year until hitting 18 years in the hospital. And actually in 2018, when I was about to hit 18 years, I had to stay at the hospital 2 times because, well, to be fair, now as I grew up, I kinda understood the doctor that was kinda taking care of me, because I had like one doctor that was, taking care of my condition. So basically, I kind of understood that she was actually making, doing some kind of experiments on me. Like, she didn't really knew how to do some stuff, but just because I was found with some, I was diagnosed with some illness that usually is actually attacking older people and not kids. But at the age of like 10, I've started to have like troubles with my physical health, so basically she took me on and started, like, for 8 years I was literally every year in hospital. This was whole book work completed. So basically I wanted to sit down and finish rest of the chapters in one day. It was like, oh, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to complete the, all of the last chapters in the, in the span, like, after the stream, etc. And I didn't. And it was like day before yesterday. I've said that. Yesterday I've finished almost all of them because I finished up to 6. And I also about to work on chapter 4, so I've made like 3 chapters. Because I finished 3 chapters, I was about to work on chapter 4, 5, and 6, right? So I finished 3 chapters in one day, and I kind of left for today chapter 7. All of the I'm calling those sketches, but Zega on the last stream mentioned what are those. Those are like how to say this, like concepts before the proper book. I've met with someone, with like a writer calling those sketches, right? Like he said that those are sketches of his books. So it kind of stayed with me, so I'm calling this stage a sketch, because after I finish that, I'll have to sit down and actually write the proper book, right? Then I'll be able to release it. That's the deal. So I'm kind of waiting because I really want to have it done. I really want to have this book finished. Considerable, because considerable to what exactly I have to do, right? Because I have to finish that, translate it. Translations are going to be way easier because it's just going to be copy and paste into the translator. I could sit down and translate it on my own, but I hope I don't have to explain that translating over like around 300 pages worth of book just to rewrite it, it's kind of pointless, right? It's going to have more sense to translate it from Polish to English when I actually have everything done, right? So when I'll have the entire book completed and I want to make the English version of it, right? So I have to sit down and translate it as it's supposed to be translated. Because the sketch it doesn't really matter as much. It's good to have the sketch written in the way that more or less everything is according to the story, but you just rewrite it into your words. Bye bye, Davis, calling me for dinner. Take care. Bye bye, uncle. Bye bye. Have a nice dinner and take care of yourself, okay? Hope to see you next time. So yeah, we are drawing Kronii. We are drawing Kronii, and well, what can I say? To be fair, it's kind of a bummer that I can't really attend any, conferences. Yeah. So I can't really attend any conferences because, well, I'm broke for travel. I want to travel to Japan though. I have a plan to finish like first part of my comic book, right? Of my manga. So like the moment I'm going to have a lot from my manga done, like, you know, start to finish, because I want the story to be split into 4, like main story, and then I have like side stories with like additional content, additional stories, additional explaining and stuff. So that's the general idea, right? I want to try and go to manga releasing company. I think maybe Shonen Jump or something. Either I want to send them in a mail like, hey, I'm making a comic book, I'm making a manga, would you mind looking, would you mind checking if it looks good, if it's something that we could release, right? Like actually trying to release, make it to an official release, right? The goal is to get serialization. Animization would be pain to achieve, but I guess, you know, they are making, you know, a lot of anime at this point into a lot of mangas into anime, like many different ones, so not necessarily good even. So considering that my manga most likely is going to be quite bad, I'm in high hopes that I have a chance, right? Although I'm you know, I'm foreigner, so they might not really want to even make a serialization or release it because, you know, I'm foreigner. I don't know, we'll see. Because maybe when I'll be done, I'm going to have enough following on Webtoons that it's just, you know, going to happen on its own. Because again, the manga is going to be released first on Webtoon. So I will see. I have dreams. I have dreams that I want to fulfill, and we haven't worked on my manga in a while, but I have a couple things that I want to do. And definitely, you know, making the side projects that I've started, for example, now, because I've been kind of slacking off on my book because I was doing a lot of different artworks on the side. Like, I was just, you know, kind of chilling for a while. I really want to get into working on the main projects that they have, because to be fair, I kind of noticed that it's just a main problem I have. I'm starting way too many side things, and those side things are actually causing a major trouble for me to, you know, pursue fast works on something, right? So basically, if I would have to focus only on the main projects, and those are 3, by the way. I have only 3 main projects. Learning C# to make games and making games, so it's like literally the same spot, because I first have to learn C# to make those games, then I can start making games, so it's just going to exchange in socket. When I finish learning C#, then I'm going to have a how is it called? Then I'm going to have a how is it called? Then I have the book, right? So I want to work on only one book at a time, and then I have comic book. Learn an engine. I mean, learning an engine is going to be kind of the same as, you know, along with, you know, getting into game dev, right? Because I learned C# and I have to learn the engine to make games too. So I learned C#, I learned engine, and then I'll be making games, so it's like always the same, like, spot, just, you know, kind of check marks, right, from the steps that I have to take. But yeah, I have a lot of stuff that I can and I should do as the projects, for example, on streams, right? Like Hololive illustrations. Who is that on the left side? That's Ollie. She's also a Vtuber. She's a Filipino? Hololive Philippine? I think? Indonesia, sorry. I'm so sorry. She's HololiveEN, Hololive Indonesian, Crazy Ollie. She's a zombie, and generally her thing is that she's quite horny on other Hololive members. On other talents. She's just yeah. Yeah, so basically I thought that it's going to be a funny meme to pull off to make Ollie having like a, you know, nosebleed jets literally coming from her nose on the side of, you know, Kronii. So I've kind of went for a bit more advanced character art, so more of an illustrative work. I want to slowly start introducing illustrative works, and probably also, you know, introduce a bit more works on stuff like objects and stuff. Hi Skylar, glad to have you here. How are you? Hope everything has going. So yeah. Will the yeah. So yeah, just slowly going with the flow. And yeah, so basically you can kind of say that I have only 3 projects that I have to keep up with, and I should genuinely be capable to make very easy work on stuff. My two angels. So I should be able to be done with a lot of different projects if I would just juggle them properly, but I'm doing a lot of side works. And those side works, like, those shouldn't really affect me as much as they do. Hi Star, glad to have you here. How are you? Hope it's going? I'm doing good, doing good. I see you've changed your profile picture again. Well, yeah, so I kind of have to, you know, like, give myself a slap on the cheek, like, hey, you really don't have that many main projects, just work on them, right? I struggle with a lot of procrastination, especially recently. I was kind of like thrown off of the, like, you know, my normal day routine because of taking care of the house and stuff. Like, for example, it was easier for my dad to give me. I know I love him so much. Oh, that's so cool. That's so cool. So yeah, I'm really just kinda trying to work out some stuff. I'm going with this because it's really nice fitting color. For those who struggling with picking up colors really quickly, if you want to know, there's a trick to it. Let me explain, because that might actually save you some hours even in finding your color palette. So basically, as you have, what is that mini version of you on the screen, Mal? That was actually a plushie made by Muto, Lord Muto. He was, you know, he's coming to the streams every now and then, and basically he gave me even two artworks, because there's the sitting one and there's one that is actually laying vertically. Like, you know, holding. That's so funny, kid. Please put it every stream. Actually, ever since I've received this beautiful gift from Muto, it's actually on every stream. It's literally on the thing, and I think I would keep it definitely. It's so cool. It might be either as just a plushie that I'm going to have, like that, or a plushie that I'm going to give to the co-hosts on the stream when I'm going to make collabs. You know, a plushie to hold. Boo. Hi Muto, glad to have you here. How are you? Hope it's going. So yeah, I'm finally motivated to draw again. I'm currently drawing a poster of my OC. So cool! So cool. And so glad to hear that you're motivated to draw again. Motivation is the key. Motivation is the most important part of it all. So basically what we are doing right now is placing flats. I've actually finished making the sketch, and trust me, good I've been working on the sketch off stream, because I've been sketch and line art. So yeah, basically I've had some troubles. I've redone this one. So yeah, hi Q0, got to have you here. How are you? Hope everything's going? The Divas back, yo. Yeah. Hi. Took me a month to get motivated. Damn, that's really long time to be fair. To be fair, when I'm usually in this state, because I know more or less what the state that is, like lack of motivation, you don't want to do anything. Usually what really what helps me to really quickly push through this state, because it does happen every now and then. I'm actually doing some fast sketches, you know, just something to keep my hand at moving, and you know, at times it just, you know, it just clicks, right? Sometimes it's just a week, sometimes, you know, it's a month where I have to sit down and just do sketches. So you never know how long it's going to take. Of course, there are times like that. You know, it's like artists, you know, inside artists just decided to go on small vacations. So that's for sure, you know, that's for sure something you can get out of if you know some tricks how to, you know, get out of quickly. And those quick sketches are actually the best because, you know, it's kind of like practice, because all you need for practice is like 15 minutes a day, but, you know, just analyzing the construction of certain objects and people and poses and stuff. So if you just sit down and take, like, I don't know, some random model and just draw that model's pose or draw that object, you can call it a day and just go play something. Of course, if you want to draw something longer or something more advanced, you can work on that, but sometimes it's good to take a moment and only do sketch like this, because it really helps your brain to breathe a little. You know, sometimes the burnout is because you've just overworked your brain. You've been working on so many different illustrations that your brain just doesn't have any ideas anymore and needs to relax for a while. That's why, you know, kind of juggling between some advanced original works and some simple sketches from reference photos is also really important when you are learning, especially when you're learning at first. When you are getting a bit more advanced, of course you are going to have less things to learn, so you are doing more pieces like that, because this is like one of the ways how you can improve, right? Because the more artworks you are going to make, the more, you know, problems you are going to start noticing after a while. So it's kind of going exponentially. So at the start you are starting to see like a lot of issues, and the more you are learning, the more you are drawing, the further you are going on your adventure, the more drawings you have to make to actually notice those itty-bitty issues, right? But somehow my whole city Wi-Fi went out for a few minutes. What? That's crazy. I'm not sick anymore, so I'm glad. And how are you? I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Just been chilling, kinda resting, but also kinda mad at myself because I've been not really honest with my works on the projects. So yeah, today I want to finish the 7th chapter of my book. I mean the sketch of it, because I didn't do them last stream, as I mentioned that I want to do. Also, I was just stuttering and my stats sometimes. So here's the thing, I've had problems with a lot of stutterers, right? But at times now it's just that I sound like I'm losing signal, like literally I'm cutting out. And I know that at certain moments, someone actually once mistook my stutter like that for lagging on streams. And they thought that actually I'm lagging, that my internet is bad or their internet is bad. And as a matter of fact, it was actually, you know, looking like that. Because after a certain period of time, I kind of learned how to overcome this stutter. And glad, and not beat yourself up. So basically, well, I've never really went to any specialist to fight off the stutter. I kind of grew out of it. It was most likely caused by stress, because I getting stressed by social interactions. I don't know. It's just I don't really like those. Like when I have to talk to many people, like look in their faces and stuff. Like I don't like physical meetings. I don't mind when I have to pop on face cam. I can just talk normally, right? I can talk then with even 50 people, even though I know that there's 50 people, but I can just talk normally when I'm through facecam. But the moment there's like 3 people sitting next to me, looking at me and like expecting me to say something, I just feel like anxiety is rising. I don't know why, it's just so weird. I don't really like those. Also, I'm hoping to get a job as the interior designer for some furniture store. It's just generally they have like their own software with like all of the assortment of the different furnitures they have, and my job would be like getting a client, talking with them what they expect, what they need, and like bringing project together for them. I was playing with those for a while when I was learning some like how to design rooms and stuff, so I know how those softwares are working, and actually I kind of learned how to work on those. So to be fair, I really want to get this kind of job. Of course, it would be easier for me, for me to, you know, become a full-time Vtuber. But chances for that are, I would say, none. But yeah, I worked already with people, I worked with clients, I know how to talk with them. I just knocked my Wi-Fi was gone again. Did I miss anything? Oh, to be fair, I wasn't really talking about anything huge. Like, I'm waiting for a... I'm hoping to, you know, get a talk to become like a guy that would, you know, make 3D simulations of rooms, you know, like an interior designer on place. So that's that. Like, that's the only thing that happens. Like, I'm still searching for something good, but chances for anything are low, to be fair. I don't know, it kind of feels like I'm not good at anything. But oh well. Maybe my book is going to blast off and I'll be able to just pursue being a writer. Which is very unstable, by the way. It's good to have just heads up for y'all. Please ignore my bad writing, but I somehow can't turn off autocorrect. It's okay. It's okay. Typos happen sometimes, you know, autocorrect is messing things up, so I do understand. that. By the way, for interested ones, for the interested ones, this is going to be also a speed paint. I've also already got the two forms of the speed paints on my PC from the previous work, you know, summer, that I've been recording with Clip Studio time-lapse, because the time-lapse is being recorded. For those who have Clip Studio Paint, because you can do that also in version Pro, the further in the versions you are, the function gets better because it gets updated also. I believe it's already relatively good in version 1.0, but like the last update, so like the most updated version of 1.0, because further updates are like, oh, here's 2.0. Okay, so we have 2.0. 2.0 gets updated for a couple versions. Here's 3.0. You should upload the speed paints on YouTube Shorts. I have version as YouTube Short. It's 10 seconds long. I have that, but I also want to have longer version, 2 minutes long and 10 seconds long, or that's 30 seconds long, something like that. I have two different speed paints. So for people who actually want to sit down and analyze the entire process, and for people who are interested in like watching YouTube Shorts, you know, format of speed paints, right? I would also probably, Ibis, you can choose the time. Yeah, same with Clip Studio Paint. Same with Clip Studio Paint. You can dictate how long the speed paint's supposed to be, and it's not cutting corners. And the best part is that it's not looking much different considering anything. And I can also make a watermark, and I'm thinking about doing this, like making a logo for my channel, because a lot of VTubers have actually their own like logos, right? Like anime-like logos. I've been using it for 8 years, Ibis. To be fair, I will have to check out the Ibis. I've seen that it's actually like paid or something, I think. But I really want to have a good software that wouldn't be locked by any means, and allow me for some, you know, more possibilities to draw on my iPad, because I have iPad, for those who don't remember. I have an iPad. It's just an iPad. It's not like, you know, Pro, it's not Air, it's nothing, it's just an iPad. Also, hey, you can pay. I use the free version. See, the thing is, if not for the subscription model, I would get Clip Studio Paint. Fun fact, I've actually got Clip Studio Paint 3.0 EX as a key, right? The perpetual license, so pay once and use it as long as you want. The best one, I think. But they don't have option for mobile version of Clip Studio Paint to use perpetual license. Right, so the problem is that to use Clip Studio Paint on mobile, on my iPad, I have to pay for subscription monthly, right? Which I don't want to, because I hate subscription model. I just don't like it. I don't like to have perpetual like payment on something. You know what I'm saying? So generally my shtick is that I really, really want to have that, you know, worked out a little bit better. And I need like something that would be close enough to Clip Studio Paint. That's why also why I don't use Photoshop, because Adobe requires you, it forces you to have you know, subscription-based model license, because they have no other licenses, and generally, you know, I don't like it. And especially what Adobe is doing with their licensing and how, you know, all those changes with, you know, subscriptions and stuff, how they are looking like, right? I've seen some streamers actually panicking on streams after seeing that Adobe sent them like $600 or $700 bill or something like that. They were like, what the fuck happened? Imagine. Because like the prices were kind of okay. I'm poor, so I don't like to pay. Fair enough. Fair enough. To be fair, I am still I am still poor, but I have the mentality like, oh hey, if because like I have very toxic saving habit, and by toxic saving habit read, I'm not going to buy anything for myself until I won't have enough cash for what I'm saving for, and that would include food, and that was the case when I was living alone, because at times I was actually walking through the entire day hungry because I was saving money. That was the really stupid of me, especially now because America. I've heard how situation is changing there. Need to go. Bye, Davis. Bye bye, Star. Thank you for coming. But yeah. Also, hey, folks, I'm really sorry if, remember, to be fair, because, like, at times I don't really know what I can talk about, so I might actually blabber about some stuff that, for example, you might not really want to hear. Please correct me when I'm using topics that you don't want to listen to, that you are not interested in, or you find offensive or anything like that, because sometimes it's very difficult for me, and sometimes I see that, you know, certain topics I'm you know, I'm using to talk at times are causing some people to leave. I'm not really bringing now like any example right now. I'm just saying that, you know, sometimes I've noticed that there were topics that were causing people to leave. So I just want for you to have a you know, comfortable enough zone to be able to talk about any topic you want, and also, you know, I want to know what you all would want to talk about, because, you know, at times it might get for me to be a bit more difficult to actually find anything to talk about. I've been actually talking a lot about my projects because, to be fair, that's my life. I don't play games, at least not anymore. I want to come back, but first I need to learn how to juggle all the projects I've put on myself. And basically, then I would be able to, like, start, you know, placing in... It's a weird thing. Which? What you mean? That I don't play games anymore? It's also toxic behavior towards myself. It's like self-toxic behavior that I'm inflicting upon myself. Because for most people, telling that something is uncomfortable is more uncomfortable than the thing. I see, sorry. Well, sorry, if you don't feel comfortable to tell me, hey, that topic is not cool. Yeah, but you can try to change the topic. I have attention span of a goldfish, so you can really quickly change the topic by throwing some random topic in the chat, and I'm just going to immediately switch to it. Just a second, it's just know what I've just noticed. But yeah. Also, hey Zagam, how have you been doing? I've seen you've been playing Palworld for a little. A little bit more Palworld. How was the D&D session? It's not D&D, it's Shadowrun, right? Since you draw girls lately, you inspired me to draw more girls. Yeah, it was Shadowrun, yeah, it hit me after I've said it. It was Shadowrun. So how was it? How many new characters there are in the team? And they robbed a bank. I see. Predictable. Predictable. Also, Muto, to be fair, I can tell you that girls are more complex to draw than men, and so I can actually assure you that the more girls you're going to draw, to be fair, a bit better you are going to also. It's going to also influence you. You know. It's going to kind of influence you on like structural level. It's going to push you towards the progress. So yeah. Reminder that, you know, I still have to give meds to my doggo. 15 minutes and I have to give him the meds. Wasn't expecting to find physical money in a futuristic setting where everybody plays electronically. Bro. Yeah. I used to draw a lot of girls, I'm more fun drawing boys. To be fair, this is like comfort zone thing. So remember to, you know, keep in mind that in any time you can sit down and pursue further works on something that you like. You might feel inspired to draw more girls, but keep in mind that it's, for example, if drawing boys is making you happy, still come back to drawing boys every now and then. Don't like focus lock on girls, because that, as a matter of fact, is going to, you know, give you in your mind like, hey, I'm drawing something that I don't necessarily have as much attention, don't have as much fun as I've had before, right? Because where does the floor and the wall meet on this drawing? Like here? It doesn't really matter, but like here, like literally on that line. But it's a circle, so it's like cut out, so you don't really have the wall. So the idea is to have like, okay, there will be a wall, like over here. I'll show you the drawing I'm working on Discord. I've got it. I really like how you went for it. Keep up the good work. I really like where your style is going. So yeah, there's going to be like a drawing of a wall, but it's going to be like just some of the wall, and basically there's going to be like a, you know, disappearing me into the void, into the white void of the paper. There we go. I don't know why it took me so long to say it. But actually I feel like I might need to change where Ollie is, like here for example, but now it doesn't really make sense, does it? So I guess it's going to be like a bit different thing. Let me just check. Yeah, I don't think it would matter where the wall is in this specific like turnout. It's just about to have a mirror and look at the bands, right? So basically the main color that Kronii has is like black and blue, but I gave her this like band. I've noticed that some girls have like bands like this. It's like a rubber band, right, with just sewn on thingy. So basically it is to like hold the hair, hold the fringe and stuff. Headband, yeah, exactly. Like different headbands. Sometimes those are like headbands with like, for example, I don't know, bunny ears, right? Or something. But I thought that, you know, for example, Kronii, seeing a Ludwig video reminded me I still haven't been to the post. Which post you mean? What? Post office? Oh, okay. Yeah, alright. I mean, I can remind you, but I feel like it. Seeing him opening pack of every generation. Ah, I see. I mean, I can missing every single hit, bro. He lost so much if he missed hits, especially in the older generations. Like first generation, you don't have that many good cards, you know? You don't. Especially in English set. He lost like 20 to 30k, yeah. That's such a pain to watch something like this happen. But he should like already kinda understand that, you know, it's kinda on him. He just want every open first generation, yeah. Those are like just the packs are very expensive, and I have to say that this Charizard that is a hit in the set and Pikachu probably already were all gotten, because the thing is like there are rare cards and super rare cards and SSR cards, right? So it's like you have common, uncommon, rare, superb, super rare, I don't know how it's called, right? So you have cards that and hidden rare, right? So like hidden rare are like very like very few people even know of their existence in the set. The expected value of the contents of all their packs are way below the price of the packs, yeah, exactly. Because like the idea that those expensive cards are already there mathematically dropped so low, that's just good for you to just keep the pack closed, because you should already know that like probably all the Charizards and Pikachus and all those expensive cards were already, you know, found from the entire set. Because like only X amount of specific cards gets printed. So like common cards get like the most printed way. So let's say like 100,000, right? Then 80% of that are uncommons. Then 50% of that are rares, right? Then you have SRs, right? SRs are like, I don't know, 25%, let's say. And then you have SSRs that are like 10% of the entire set. And then you get like 5% for secret rares. Because secret rares are not even enlisted in the set list. They are getting enlisted in the set lists only on the internet because people are finding them. That's why they are called secret rares, because the company is not telling that those cards exist in the set. That's why they are like the most, like, the best hits you can get, because a lot of times it's like very, very rare card generally, because again, like, only X amount of cards can be printed. So you can say that, for example, you could have like potentially 500 Charizards in the first set. Potentially. And now summarize all the Charizards that could have been found at this point. Most likely it was already 500, right? If not, it was like, you would have to be so lucky to find like the very last Charizard from the base set. So lucky, because like the numbers are dropping, and they are dropping exponentially with each opened pack. And a lot of people just don't bother. They are still thinking they are going to, you know, be the lucky ones and get those cards. At times it's like kind of sad to look at. Because a lot of people have really so much hopes to get something cool. In the newer sets, it's way easier to get sets, you know, good things from the packs. Like, we've got that golden card, right? What is my life? I don't know, I don't have mine. But apparently some people have something called lives. Apparently they're like, I don't know, having dates? Ugh. I'm just a drawer. I'm a good drawer. What? I'm a good drawer. I'm definitely a good drawer. Bro. I am helping my dad get a turkey. There is like 50 to 80% chance of us living in a simulation. True. And it's scary how huge this percentile is. Also, I'm person who is doing the freaking simulation. I'm begging you, just please write some good event for me. Like, I'm begging you, simulation lord. I just want to have some really good event in my life. Please. Imagine. But yeah. It is scary that there's such a huge chance that we are living in a simulation. Also, if more is right, I wonder when I can make my own simulation where creatures start to wonder if they are in a simulation. To be fair, I think if you like... I've seen people having AI conversations where AI was literally just... After, like, allowing it to evolve. Why am I doing this? Because you're helping someone. Get that turkey. But yeah, like, if you would mangle a little bit with AI and allow it to, like, create its own, you know... AI is just linear algebra doing glorified autocomplete, yeah, most likely. But we know how our brains are working. If we are and I believe we are going to be able to fulfill what Moore said, you know, and generally create a simulation that where people, you know, simulation creatures are going to start wondering if they are in a simulation. Literally in the moment where you are going to be able to develop an AI for an instance on the human brain complexity. And I doubt that even like quantum PCs that we have right now will be able to do that. So yeah, that's at least that's what I think. But you know that with good enough hardware, we don't even have to do that. I mean, theoretically, if you allow AI to just... Also, quantum computers are relatively slow, yeah. Oh. Okay. I have to give meds to my dog. You can continue the talk in the chat. I'm going to catch up to you. I'm just going to give the meds to my doggo. Give me a moment. I'm down. Sync operation to the general intel, I see. In the time you were talking, you managed to get 2 free turkeys. Ooh! I think it was China developed a new quantum computer that showed it can solve very complex problems in very small time. It came a Russian guy who did it on his home PC faster, bruh. Turkeys, like the animal or food form, yep, animals. When I was little, I hated turkeys. They bite and laugh at you when you're loud. And for some goddamn reason, we never ate them. Only the bunnies, I see. I know, I just don't know my dad wants them, I see. I see. I remember I was at my friend's farm. Well, it was a farm of my friend's friend. Because it was at my friend's 18th birthday. So that friend's friend was... had like a turkey farm, something like that. So basically, those turkeys, well, I've started making turkey noises, right? Imitating them. So all those turkeys, like, walked all around me, and they were doing nothing. They were not biting, they were not making the noise. I was just, you know, doing the gobble gobble gobble, right? And they just went all around me and they were just, you know, chilling with me. I was the king of the turkeys. Maybe you can always eat them if you don't want them. True. Good turkey is not bad. Turkey Lord, yes. I was Turkey Overlord. I had to convince my grandma to get emu. Ooh. Emu? Emus are mean. Australia literally fought actual civil war against emus and lost. Bro. They're mean. Never leave that down. She don't want to get them because how can we catch them and kill them if we even have problems with roosters? True. But yeah, emus are douchebags. You can like read about them. They're actual douchebags because they are not, as long as you are not like over 2 meters tall, they are going to treat you like you're inferior to them, because they are going to feel endangered and they are going to listen to someone who's taller than them. That's why a lot of emu handlers actually have like very long stick, and when the emu is walking up to them to cause some ruckus, they are lifting up the stick to appear taller than them. And actually that's when those freaking chickens are, you know, overgrown chickens actually don't attack them. Otherwise they are capable to walk up to you and actually start like pecking your head to crack it open. I swear, this is crazy. They are like walking menaces to the society. Eating chicken was always fun. They just send me in to the open field enclosure to catch one. I want to eat. It took me sometimes like an hour to catch one. I mean, my grandpa had a way. Also, my grandpa had a farm of those how was those called in English? Those like beavers but with orange teeth. We are calling them nutrias. Not sure how those are called in English though. So basically, those bastards were capable to literally bite through like working shoe with a metal plate. But thankfully the metal plate was just bending under their teeth, but they were like biting through the freaking rubber. Like, one almost like chopped off. One of those bastards like almost chopped off my grandpa's toe. I swear that was like a crazy story. Never thought about if they do it for their own entertainment. Steel toe shoes, yeah. Like if you have those animals, steel toe shoes are like must have, because otherwise you can lose a part of your body to some mother clucker. I didn't even know of these animals. Let me check. It can be nutria, but the most accurate is river rat. It's literally a beaver with orange teeth, and it's like, just Google it. It's literally orange, like actual orange teeth. And it's like natural color. I have no idea what's up with those chompers, but I mean, you know. Never seen one of these, I see. Maybe it's like, you know, for a very specific region or something. Like, looks like a capybara on crack. Exactly. Looks like a capybara on crack. That's like the most accurate thing you can say. For real. I think I'm going to draw color Ollie later. How about that? We're going to first finish Kronii. But on the other hand... Wait, let's actually split background from the foreground, shall we? Let's actually do that. It's going to be easier. I'd be able to sit down like, good job, Davis. I you know, pat on the back. Good job, Davis. You did a really good job. I'm proud of you. I'm having trouble drawing objects. Kinda same. I still can't like figure out like the best way of processing objects. But like I'm trying to like that's why I'm trying to start like not really drawing like entire illustrations, like entire rooms and stuff, but first start with like drawing some small stuff. Spend like an hour drawing a freaking leaf. Actually, valid, 100% valid. Or maybe we should color Ollie right now. I have no idea. I'm proud of you, Davis, since you need to hear that. Nah, I'm just joking, don't worry. I'm a very proud person. I take pride to what I'm doing. I don't know. Actually, what will be the pipeline here? I guess making flats for all the characters will be like a must-have. Let me go to the reference photo for Ollie because I have no recollection how Ollie looks like exactly. I really don't remember how she looks like. I'm not going to draw the sword she has in her head because she actually has a sword like going through the like her head like this. But yeah. So actually one of the things I wanted to do was like, because there are like memes where Ollie is like taking off her head. For example, you know what would be funny? Yeah. Bloodstream shooting out of the sword. I see. I mean, the bloodstream is going to go from both of her nostrils, like, you know, one of those anime, you know, nosebleeds after seeing, you know, sexy girl. Quote unquote, sexy girl. Master Roshi style, yeah, but like several times stronger. Like this style. Like straight up just... He's going to get samurai... funny samurai mustache. Her hairs are like this. By the way, some of the Hololive Vtuber designs are, as a matter of fact, done by some quite known artists. For example, Bass. So, you know, Hako's Bales. Model is made by Mika Picasso, the same artist that is doing the hyperpop artworks. So to be fair, there's like a lot of things going on if you want to get into drawing VTubers, because you can see a lot of like styling, right? Like a lot of the stylization points on the character design is really taken to the bank for it. You can see how certain artists are designing their characters, and you can actually detect their style just for the design itself, not necessarily the art style. So the artist is even determinable by their art style. So yeah, actually I'm taking the idea how I want to proceed with some of the things. So basically I want to keep up with, you know, some elements being without the line art, right? So for example, the bloodstream on base, from base nose, is going to be without the line art. Base? Why base? Ollie's. From Ollie's nose is going to be without the line art. I want to make a... I like how colorful Mika Pikazu's drawings are, but most of them are so damn busy. This is also one of the style that Mika Pikazu has. It's very busy with details. I think that it's not necessarily good, just as you, but I have to say that I don't really mind it, because not all of the artworks are so busy, and in most of the times it's actually working well. The drawing I'm doing, I was thinking, what if I had a Vtuber? I see. I mean, hey, that's always something to go for, right? And who knows, from that idea you can then have, you know, an idea for an OC, and then you might have the actual, you know, an actual VTuber model. So you never know about things like that. So right now I'm dodging some things because she has some hairs white, some hairs are red. But yeah, I'm really hoping that she's going to be recognizable, but I believe just by the hairstyle, hair color, and some other key concepts, she's going to be quite visible. Also, you can notice that further away the object is, or, you know, quote-unquote less main focused on the object is, if I can say that, if that makes sense. The smaller the line art is, right? So that's what I've talked about, like what I wanted to also kind of introduce. So basically the idea is to get a certain objects drawn without a line art. And of course, after I'll be done with the, you know, with the shading and stuff, I'm just going to sit down and, you know, over push some other stuff, right? So that's the idea. So for example, some of the liners are going to disappear because they are going to be attached to something that's not of an, you know, main importance for the illustration, right? So knowing that, I want to actually kinda achieve what the, you know, last of the connection of the art styles that I've decided to merge is going to look like. And I believe that's going to be like the only thing, because to be fair, you are not really going to have much going on. You don't really have much other artists with very similar art style to mine, or rather art style that would interest me. So I'm getting like huge influence from Reno Tuna, I'm having interest from another artist, I'm getting some other artworks, I'm getting some other, you know, ideas how to go about certain objects and elements of the character from my experience with realism drawings. And I think that this is enough what I want to go for, because I don't want to have too much. I've always mentioned anyway that generally what I want is the art style that would be very based on my realism, you know, methods anyway, and I want to keep at it. Yeah. Actually, that's bad color. I should use this. Yeah. And this, but slightly brighter. There we go. That's the good color. I have too many art styles. Well, it's not good, that's what I can tell you. Having too many art styles is not good because you are not progressing, you are focusing too much on your art styles. It's good to have one art style that you would just make a variety of. So for example, like Reno Tuna, and you know, after a certain time when I finally establish what I want to do with my anime style me. So basically what you see is going to be able to be varied between realistic drawings and anime drawings, and I'll be able to just, you know, tilt the kind of like tilting the weight of the artwork, right? So basically I'll be able to make a you know, semi-realistic drawing, right? So more realistic shadows but on anime character, right? But for example, the eyes are going to look different and something else is going to look different, yada yada yada. I have to say the general conception behind art styles is very specific, because a lot of people actually take a lot to their... It was because I wanted to be an animator. Well, it also doesn't really show flexibility, if that's what you were trying to go for. You want to know how to animate in one style and show flexibility by doing this thing I've mentioned. So for example, if you look at some of the Reno Tunas, I'm using him as the... I'm actually using him as the example because that's the closest that, you know, I can use. So basically, if you look at Reno Tunas artworks, you are going to see in some of his doodle mashups, you're going to see, for example, the... how is it called now? Some realistic artworks. I can even try to find one because I have his doodle set turned on. And I think it's in here too. Was it this one? Yes. So let me show you how Reno Tuna's, you know, tilt looks like towards more realistic drawings. Here it is. This is like more realistic artwork he went for, right? Guess what? He can go even more realistic to that, and he can go more cartoonish to that, and he can go even more cartoonish from that, right? So this is what flexibility means. It means that you can actually make a lot of different styles, but from your style. Not that you are just going to sit down and learn one style. What matters is if you are capable to actually pursue this one specific like way of making different moves with your animations, with your art style and stuff. Of course, some animations are going to be more advanced, so I can tell you right away that it's going to be a pain in the neck to actually pursue anything. But I can also already tell you that it's not really that half as bad to just sit down and try to work on it. Because remember that it's mostly for your, you know, for your way of working out, you know, the concept of your style, right? And yeah, what they mean by flexibility is that peculiar thing. Like, you can try animate a scene from other, you know, made by other made by other animators in a style for example, I don't know, you can try to draw Finn or something like that and draw them as close as possible, but draw them as close as possible in your style. If, for example, you look at Dragon Ball artworks, right? There's like specific style they've had to go through. And now look how those different artists managed to adapt to the style. And if you look closer, Dragon Balls, Dragon Ball Super, Dragon Ball Z's, Dragon Ball GT's style is not consistent with every frame. This is because you have main animators, you have in-betweeners, you have storyboarders, yada 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 yada. There's like a lot of, like, a massive, you know, stake for you know, different kinds of, you know, positions for as an animator, right? And of course, you are the higher on the ladder you are, the more you can actually do without you know, in your own preferable style. So for example, if you are in betweener, you just don't really do much. You are in betweener, your task is to draw same style, same everything, just you know, frames that are in between, right? So you don't have as much flexibility. You can become storyboarder. That's usually when you are actually a bit higher standing. So that's like, actually, at this point, you know, it doesn't really matter if you are drawing this in your own style or what. It's just going to be a sketch anyway. Because that then goes to the keyframers, and from in between you are becoming a keyframer, so you have less work, but you have more meticulous work. So you have to really pursue those small details, you have to really pay attention, but you can actually adapt your style to that style. So for example, if I would have to now sit down and draw Goku, that Goku wouldn't look exactly like Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball GT Goku, because the shading would be different, for example, right? Because all the rendering is what is actually doing all of that style. The way how you are drawing your eyes is doing that, but you can draw your eyes in any way or shape or form. So you can literally just sit down and draw the, you know, draw the eyes of the character, like, I don't know, like a character from Dragon Ball Z, and it's still going to be okay because it's going to, for example, fit into my style, and this is what matters. And of course, you can say that what if it doesn't fit in my style? Then, like, it's your problem. It's your problem, but it's stylization. I think I've talked already about that, but stylization is nothing but simplification of realism. So it's always going to be about realism. It's not going to be anything else. You are not going to really sit down and discover like different new ways of drawing. No, you are just going to sit down, look like, oh, you draw noses in realism this way, right? You have a circle, you have circle, circle, you have like a tent, bam, 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 no, and eraser, right? Ta-dam, you have mouse. Now, how it's going to look like in anime, how do you think? Circle, circle, circle. That's that. Do you see it? It's literally nothing like just making realism for yourself easier. It's always a derivative from realism. All the manga art styles, everything. That's what the art style means, right? So, of course, you can analyze someone else's style, right? Like I did with Rino Tuna's style, because yes, it's called Master Study. You can see that my artworks are not similar to his. I don't even think they're close in the, you know, how advanced the artworks are, because I think I'm not really as good. But, you know, that's me. Right? That's me. And the general concept is that I'm, just drawing and just doing my stuff. I know my basis. I've been drawing realism. I've just started to switch from clear realism towards manga and anime. I've started learning my own style. I've started learning how to simplify things. And guess what? Actually, it also helped me with drawing realism. So I can assure you that if you are going to learn how to draw, you don't even have to learn how to draw realism. You can right away pursue drawing anime, not listening to some other people that might actually try to tell you this. But the problem is where the problem starts where you are starting to analyze by someone else's works, because remember that anime is not anime styles are not one-to-one with realism, and they are not going to have, for example, they might not really have the same proportions, because some styles are really over-exaggerate, right? They keep the same ratios, but the proportions change. So that being said, you can, for example, end up like learning chibi, but chibi artwork is not going to teach you how to draw full anime characters. You are going to sit down and end up having no idea what you are doing, because you didn't study, for example, this based on your realistic references, right? On your realistic models. Because you've been drawing only this kind of things, right? So you kind of taught your brain that this is the only way how things can go, which is very difficult to unlearn later on. Very difficult, I may ask. I've seen many people struggling with that and like, oh, I suck. No, you don't. You've just been learning wrong thing from the very beginning, because you've decided to skip a couple steps. Yeah, because over-exaggerating the art styles comes when you are very, very good with your realistic proportions. And if you look at anime artworks, like anime characters, manga characters, they are all having the same proportions. They have realistic proportions. Well, in some places they don't. Like on those big titty anime girls are an over-exaggeration, but that's something that doesn't really matter, because if you look at the skeletal structure, right, like how arms to legs to torso to head construction looks like, it's all going to work. It's all going to be realistic. Why? Because it's a derivative from a realistic artwork. It's just that simplification I've been talking about. So if you want to pursue your own art style, go ahead, you can do that right away. Just keep in mind to not really pursue very exaggerated artworks and very exaggerated art styles from the very beginning, and try to draw your anime characters based off of realistic models. If you are going to have those, right, you'll be able to actually pursue a lot of other realistic, a lot of other artworks with unease, because you are going to understand how the body works, right? Because right now, without even drawing chibis as seriously, because I've never really paid attention to drawing chibis when I was drawing them. If I would have to sit down and actually pay more attention, make my construction, etc., I could just sit down, make a construction, and draw a perfect chibi, because the construction is just over exaggeration. Bigger head, smaller torso, but hands and legs are kind of on the same rules. Just the feet are connected, and hands have like 3 fingers. Sometimes those are just blobs, but the general conception between those two still remains unchanged. So that being said, yeah, to be fair, I'm looking at some people's and I see that they've went for very exaggerated art style from the very beginning, but I'm not giving them this advice. Because usually it also doesn't really end up well. They feel offended because, hey, what are you talking about, etc. And like, you know, it's not necessarily something I want to go through. I don't really want to go through things like that. And I hope I didn't, like, you know, offend anyone. It's not what I mean. On any cost, I've never meant to offend anyone by what I've just said about art styles. It's just, it's going to take you longer to master your own art style. It's literally that. It's just going to take you longer. Because you're going to learn over exaggerated art style, and then you're going to sit down and be like, damn, I would really kill now to start drawing some better anime. You know? Like, I would really want to start drawing like fuller anime, not chibis, but every time I'm drawing something is off. What am I supposed to do? And like, unlearning a habit like that is like trying to stop smoking after 10 years without absolutely any supportive mechanism. Like, no one to help you with it, no nicotine patches, no meds, no nothing. Just like, okay, I don't smoke anymore and that's it. This is how it feels to stop a bad habit that you've learned in the early days of your drawing learning. That's why it's very important to stay up with the, you know, realistic proportions at the very beginning, because you're soaking that knowledge like a sponge. And later you can use that knowledge to actually over-exaggerate your art style. This is very key ingredient why so many artists are so flexible with their art styles. I'm very offended. How dare you have an opinion? Hell yeah. But yeah, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you this. It's very difficult. And hey, welcome back, Star. How have you been? How have you been? Oh my. Oi, oi, oi. I'm good. I'm going to probably take a... I'm going to probably make myself some instant soup in a small cup, or chocolate milk. I've had a big carton of chocolate milk. It's literally like you have a cocoa. If I would just throw it into a soup, yeah, a soup. It's like an instant soup. You're, you know, in a powder. It's not like instant noodle soup. It's not like those huge bricks with, you know. Yeah. I envy you. Yeah, bro. I was craving recently for some hot cocoa, and I could just pour myself a cup with no effort. I've put it into microwave. I crave cocoa so hard too, yeah. I don't know why. Sometimes I'm literally capable, but lactose intolerance is fucked me. Bro, good thing I'm not old enough yet for that. I'd be so devastated without having hot cocoa. Look, the bathroom where my sister is in, and I don't know where I put the key. Bro, poor Zega, yeah. Just start things, yeah. Just start doing star shenanigans. actually locked up my sister from the entire house in a bathroom. Oh, it's okay, Star. At least not burning pizza today, yeah. Meanwhile in the chat, oh right, my pizza. Imagine. Poor Star, yeah. Imagine if you would have to really go to the bathroom though. Like, imagine if you would have to really go pee right now. Bro, I've actually had a talk with my friend. He recently OD'd on caffeine. Yes, apparently you can do that. And he said that colors had sounds and his entire body was vibrating. My bro literally got a freaking synesthesia from drinking too much coffee. Really, yeah. Like straight up. He had to be rushed to the hospital because he had chest pains and apparently he had palpitation. But he actually said that it was like literally his entire body entered into a black hole. He was pulled into a noodle and started vibrating really excessively, every single molecule in his body. And all of the colors had sounds. That was like how he explained it to me. That was funny. Well, he's at least alive though, but he said that he's not going to touch coffee for a while because he also have a habit to drink a lot of coffee. I have a habit to drink a lot of coffee too, but I always watch out to how strong the coffee is. So like my coffee is like quite often half on half, 50% coffee, 50% milk. Sometimes less when I know I've already had a lot of coffee, you know, like less coffee, more milk, when I know I've already had a lot of coffee, but quite often it's just half on half. He also had it, but he had no idea that his company he's working at exchanged the coffee they were ordering to the coffee with 2 times of the caffeine, and he had like 4 or 5 cups. I think he was drinking his 5th cup or something like that, and basically, you know, just out of nowhere this started to happen. Bro, like, he actually was drinking so much coffee unintentionally. It's not like he was drinking so much coffee knowing that it was like double the, you know, caffeine. He had no idea that they've changed it. I wanna write my LC slower down so bad, but I don't know how to start and make it good. I see. Well, I made noodles and almost burned them. I see. I hope the noodles were good though. When the little flying spots starting to appear in your peripheral vision, you must stop the caffeine. They were nice. tasty noodles. I haven't had that. I haven't had those. Although it turned out that I have a lot of blind spots in my peripheral vision, so it might be because I might be blind in my peripheral. Because like before I went to I could, you know, start working on the current company, I've had like excessive, you know, checkup, right? Like oh yeah, we're going to check your you know, reflexes, your you know, other stuff, and like, oh yeah, you have like you have like a lot of blind spots in your peripheral vision. Oh, just I was literally like not really amused. Is that something that would not allow me to work on my position? Nah, not really. Okay, cool, whatever. I don't care. I don't care then. Bro, I'm blinded by the light I see. Imagine murder standing beside me and you can't see it. Oh wait. I am the murderer. But to be fair, I have a lot of situations where like I see something in my peripherals and I'm literally scared of the fact. Sometimes I'm scared to look there. Because it was, for example, like just some like a black shape just zooming really quickly. You know, maybe it was like, I don't know, a spider or something. Even if I wasn't blind, I wouldn't notice. I would definitely notice being dead. I have not. Yeah, it's actually pretty common, but it's most likely like you're seeing a mosquito, or for example, your, you know, imagination is just developing images in your blind spot, right? You know, in your peripheral. Quite often this happens when you have very little sleep. So, you know, you're starting to have hallucinations, and hallucinations like that starts from the peripheral vision, actually. There are people actually that just go blind right away. It's funny, sometimes I see thing better in my peripheral than when I see directly at the thing. Oh. To be fair, that's crazy. Even visualization, hallucination is for sound. Okay. Yeah. Fata Morgana. I had psychosis before, scary stuff. Yeah, psychosis is... yeah, it really can mess you up. Also, bro, schizophrenia. Like, literally seeing people, interacting with them, having full-on conversations, but they are not there. What the fuck is psychosis? That was random, Davis. Yeah, it was so random. Let me... I know exactly what that is, but it's very difficult for me to explain this in English. Psychosis is when people lose some contact with reality. This might involve seeing or hearing things that other people cannot see or hear, hallucinations, or believing things that are not actually true, delusions. It may also involve confusion, disordered thinking and speaking. So basically, yeah, like you can just have... Is it like panic attack, but you can't control? It's like your brain is cranking up, for example, that, you know, a certain person is out there to kill you. And like, it's just straight up making you have panic. You see that person everywhere. That person doesn't even exist. And generally you can't even explain this because you're starting to get like speech impediment. You can like even express anything you can. You're like blabbering. That's like very stereotypical psychosis attack. Does it fade like panic attack? No. Like you can start getting medications and get down with psychosis. Like you can, I don't think there's a cure for that, but like you can minimize it to 0. Medicated, right? So like you can like eliminate it from your life. Just somewhere at certain point it can like come back, for example, out of nowhere, right? Because you had psychosis. Oh, that's not good. Yeah. So that's that. I mean, panic attacks are also coming back. Bro, that actually reminds me, like, I've actually, at certain moments, I woke up like very early, like very into middle of the night. Because I fell asleep like very early. That was the first time I took my sleeping med, right? And I've actually had a panic attack, like out of nowhere. I was just sleeping. Like my heart literally felt like it's going to burst out of my chest. I only had those at a bad depressive point when one of my ex fucked me up mentally very hard over a short time. Oof. Need to go again. Alrighty, take care. So yeah, that can, so you don't know what that is. To be fair, for a while I thought that you need a reason to get a panic attack. Like there's a certain thing that is like causing you the panic attack, like thought of something, right? It was so spontaneous, like I was just sleeping, I woke up with the panic attack already going. Like I couldn't catch a breath, I couldn't do anything. Man, that was really bad. Some form of anxiety seemed to be involved for me, I see. Just noticed the door won't open. Bye. Alright. Bye, Star. Better find the key. You better find the key. Bro, imagine they would have the PTSD. It's not fun, yeah. By the way, back in the days, seems to be fun living with Star. Definitely. Like, actually, definitely. Imagine. So, fun fact. Fun facts? Is that a fun fact? No, it's not. It's not. I don't know why I wanted to attach it to that. Sorry. So basically, back in the days, there's something called a what was it? Shell disorder, something like this. It actually evolved into PTSD later on, because at first they thought that it's like connected with, you know, only soldiers in war, because it started to happen after, you know, Second World War, because it was like, you know, all of, you know, blasting from guns, shells, bombs, right? Out of a lot of stuff happening. Shell shock, yeah, there you go, shell shock. So basically they thought that it's like only connected to that, but later on it, you know, it just so happened that shell shock can happen also to people outside of like war zones, right? It can happen to civilians, right? Like just after trauma, right? That's why it received a PTSD, right? Post-traumatic disorder. Because, you know, they get a trauma and they start to have PTSD because of that, right? So they have their own trigger, and that trigger is activating PTSD, and that can actually, appear in many different ways. It's very complicated how human brain works. You can actually do so many things with it. It's at a certain point interesting and at a certain point very scary with how much human brain can differentiate from the norm. Like, some people might not be able to think inside of their head, they don't have the inner voice. Some people cannot imagine a fantasia. Some people just, for some people, the dopamine creating part of the brain shuts down just like that because of certain events, for example, depression, right? Clinical depression. Some people might actually just freeze like that, right? Catatonia. They can have schizophrenia, just developing visual and auditory, hallucinations, right? Like, just developing over time deterioration of the brain to the point where their brain is literally making them see, feel, talk to people that are not there, and they're like looking real to them. Because a lot of people with schizophrenia that can actually still be, they still have contact. They are saying that it's impossible to actually separate, those visions from actual people. Of course, we are progressing over time, but it's so scary with like how many things can happen just to your brain, and how much it can actually influence your life, how much it can influence your perspective on life. You can literally like shut down frontal lobe, deprive yourself from a lot of emotions like fear, sadness, embarrassment, right? You are going to have nightmares, and you are going to think that they are like dreams about puppies. Straight up, man. Straight up. Like, that's crazy. There's literally a receptor for culture. If you block that receptor, the person is literally going to act very simpletonic. Crazy, yeah. I was crazy once. They locked me in a room, in a rubber room with rats. Rats made me crazy. Crazy. I was crazy. Bro. I don't know. At a certain point I thought of going to become like, to school to become like psychiatrist or a psychologist or, police profiler or something like that. I might still apply. There's still time for that because there's, the recruitations are not open yet. I can try to apply to one and see if I'm going to get there. Maybe I'm going, for a police profiler, checking why someone did something, right? Like the psychology behind crime. That's also really interesting because there are certain aspects that you might not really be aware of, but for example, a lot of people that know someone are going to attack a person from behind. So for example, if it's, let's say, I don't know, a father, let's say, right? You're not going to walk up to him and chop at his head with a axe, right in, looking him in the, looking into his eyes. No, because like your brain is going to block you from that. So the only moment where you are going to start getting that like thing going, that trigger to do that is only with high adrenaline and when the person is turned around from you. Like, you are literally just going to attack that impulsive thoughts taking over, yeah. Exactly. It's generally going to be the moment where you are going to when that person is on, when they turn their back to you, because like you won't be able to look into that person's eyes because you've knew that person, and generally it's like a coping mechanism kinda to not feel as bad for killing the person, quote unquote, right? Something's happened when I was a kid, it went away. I guess it stays for some people, yeah. And that's why police profiler is needed for it, to determine if the person was, correct, I mean quote unquote correct, right, in their mind, or not, what could be possibly the psychology behind crime, right? So, oh, this person, there were no signs of breaking in, so probably they knew each other, the person was... Isn't it more like criminal psychology? It's called profiling. You are making psychological profile of the criminal. At least, maybe it's like different name in English, I don't know. But for sure it's being a profiler is something important that you do. Don't know if like, you can get a job after that. But isn't it? But yeah, it's more of that. Can you be my psychologist? I mean, to be fair, possibly I would open to business if I would ever be. So if I would ever become one, I might, help to some people. People who do that here must be criminal psychology degree. Yeah. And it's literally the same thing, right? So like going to a criminal psychology, but we have like very direct thing. We have our schooling is like, you are not going only to very specific, like, oh, this is this degree, this is that degree. You are finishing your school, your university, for a specific job. You can go to like rocket science, university, become rocket scientist, and get rocket science degree, right? Get the engineer title, yada 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 yada. No girl studying it. She got a bit fucked up during that 4 years, yeah. That does happen because they are showing you the crimes. And they are showing you the dead bodies because you have to be aware of what happened to the person, and you have to be, and you are going to generally work with dead bodies because you are going to look at the photos, you are going to look at many different things. So it can actually mess someone up, but to be fair, I've seen already many messed up things, and looking at, dead body, it's not really as weird for me. As weird as it sounds. Now she's normal company psychologist. I mean, that happens too. Like some people, after seeing how actually the profiler's job looks like, they just decide to not really pursue this career. Because actually it's going to take a toll on you. And to be fair, I was thinking about it and it went through my mind. Like all the different scenarios that will literally affect me the most. There are certain crimes that will really break me. They will literally destroy me mentally. The moments, I would literally see those things. So that's why I don't really recommend, becoming a psychologist to someone who is very fragile towards this kind of topics. at all, because as a matter of fact, if you have like very severe problems, it can really affect you, like really affect you. But when you learn how to control stuff, it's just going to be like another job. Of course, there's still going to be fears, right? Like, oh, I've been taking care of this patient for 3 years, right? This patient had this, and this. And, you know, even though they were on every single visit for the past 2 years and just out of nowhere they don't arrive, and it hits you, right? Like, what could possibly happen? Like, that's what actually made me not apply for the psychologist slash psychiatrist degree. The fear of that specific thing, because I'm getting attached to people really quickly, and I know that I wouldn't survive having a patient, you know, going through something like that. Sorry that it's a really morbid topic. I think we should stop here. I also don't think if I should talk about stuff like, you know, such morbid topics when I'm drawing Hololive members. Okay, yeah. I don't know. I have to keep in mind that also all the illustrations have to be up to date with their topics. So, like, you know, they have quite specific stuff, like no crime involvement, no political stuff. Like, they have very common rules generally for any community, so you can do a lot of stuff. Of course, like, also, you know, like doing things that for sure are going to be, you know, taken wrong by the members, right? Like things that would make them uncomfortable. Like, for example, Kronii mentioned on some of her last tweets on Twitter to not post NSFW under the normal tag, because there is a tag for NSFWs for her, and she just don't want to look at her artworks and just out of nowhere see a moon, as she said it. Jun Somali had his first trial in Korea. Damn, I also don't know if I should speak about this. I'm really scared to talk about this stuff on, you know, drawing Hololive stuff. Like, but yeah, I've heard generally there are some additional charges, but he just went in for, you know, said yes to every charge that was at first told him. So basically he's going to jail for sure. I've seen that. Although I had no idea what's up with that, but apparently I've later like looked at, and I didn't like connect his face to the thing, but after I've looked at him and like I've read some what he did, like I've, you know, I kind of caught up to the idea that that was the guy that was a nuisance to people, especially to people in Japan. So yeah, good. People doing a nuisance supposed to be punished like that, and I always imagine these situations. Like, imagine a menace streamer going to Poland to these shenanigans. Would not last an hour. Yes, exactly, because Polish people are not fucking around. They're going to walk up to the guy. Imagine he would pull off something like that in Krakow. They are going, the second he would start pulling something up like that, like 5 people would pull up to him with machetes. Like, straight up, Krakow is like that. I'm not joking. I'm not joking. Like, one wrong street that he would arrive and he would be fucked up. Like, straight up, man. Heck, like, even Krakow is cracked. Exactly, man. Exactly. But, yeah. That's that, man. Like, heck, even at my city, my neighbor almost lost his arm because they've attacked him with machetes. They've almost chopped off his arm at the shoulder, like straight up. But they've managed to reconnect it, and you know, like surprisingly we have quite skilled surgeons, and they are capable to do miracles. And I'm really glad because like he's all fun and dandy. He's actually a really good guy. You know, really good guy in the neighborhood. So yeah. But actually, like it's crazy. I like that voice squish. Yeah, I really like that. To be fair, it's more of the like realism I wanted to add to my artworks. Some flesh squeeze, like even around Booba, you can like see how, you know, the like, because it's like very soft tissue, right? Because it's like mostly muscles and fat tissue with some like additional like portions, but it's like very like sticking out because of like additional also soft tissues. So basically it's like just like squishy body part, right? So generally like it has like very like round indentation here, right? And around here you have bones. You have bones, muscles that are getting really hard generally. So the squish is not really as hard, but still like skin is going to get indentation. It's not like fat tissue, it's not like a lot. Like muscles can also get squeezed, skin can get squeezed. So in realistic artworks, in realistic ways, you can like really get into like, even for someone jacked, you can still have a room for some indentations in the skin. It's like very specific to watch out for those, you know? The hard edge of the pant, yeah. Because it's like the rubber, right? So the rubber is like squeezing it in. Although I thought about like making the rubber go like making the rubber band go like this, kinda. I think this way is perfect, yeah. So you know, like kinda the rubber is getting in also, because it would kinda roll up. But I think it would roll up for more chubbier person. Kronii is like known for being a gym rat, so definitely it wouldn't happen for her. I think, I don't know, like I have no idea. Straight up. So basically like next thing would be sketching. Also, folks, I'm really sorry if some of the topics we've touched on the stream were a bit bad. I'm really sorry. There were so many different ones. Oh fuck, I noticed something. What's up? Won't tell you. A yolk? Literally the laugh went like when the XD supposed to happen. But did you notice? Like, is it a good thing or a bad thing? Because now I'm going to look through the artwork and ensure that there's no issues. Sure. Not the booba, not the abs. Also, abs on women are a bit different than what you usually see. women actually have a lot of tendencies. Like, abs are very specific muscles because everyone has different muscles for abs. So here's the thing, right? People can have six-pack, right? This is like very common. It can go up to 12-pack. So you can literally have 6 rows of muscles on your abdomen. Right? But it can start from 4-pack. And mostly women, like a lot of women, actually naturally have 4-packs. Right? Guys, on the other hand, have tendencies to have 6-packs, right? So it comes after a 4-pack, so it's like one muscle group of a difference. But fun fact, Arnold Schwarzenegger, right, the Terminator guy, has 4-pack. He biologically has 4-pack, and this is actually something that can happen. I also have naturally 4-pack. This is actually something I've noticed, right? After some exercises, I don't have a 6-pack, I have a 4-pack. Naturally, biologically. I have only 2 sets of muscles there. It doesn't affect anything. It's just when they are going to, you know, start to get, you know, when you start to get like more cuts on your muscle groups, this is the only difference. It's just going to show as a 4-pack, not 6-pack. It's like that. And actually, 12 packs are crazy, and they are very rare, and usually a lot of people don't really have. Some people actually that might have 12 packs, for example, might also not exercise, so it might be a bit more, but people might not even know that they can have a 12-pack than over, you know, 6-pack. So this is crazy. This is crazy. This is I was mind blown when I was learning about this in you know, about this when I was studying the human anatomy. And that's like very different thing. Or maybe I misunderstand something. I see. I would like to know what you've seen, because I might really not be able to figure it out. But yeah. So basically, on the next stream, because it's already 2.5 hours, I'm going to cut the stream and start, you know, do the soup for myself. And probably the thing. Should I tell ya? Yeah, please. I'm begging you. I'm really begging you. Soup, yeah. Going to get a soup, and I'm going to finish writing the 7th chapter. That's not how mirrors work. Yes, I've noticed that, but I was so far deep into this that now it's going to be a bit problematic for me to change it. Well, yeah, the mirrors are not working like that. I don't know what I was thinking. I was... I had to be definitely zooted on something. But yeah, the mirror is just flipped around, you know? Head pose and hair is different too. It's more like a turnaround. What? The mirror is on, like, behind, and those hairs are like covering the face. So here you have, you know, that part, and it's like covering her face. So like you're going to see the hairs only. I might have messed up, you know, the differences here between the hairs, but don't worry, we are going to actually change a lot of stuff here, because what we are going to do is we are going to make some changes later on to delete the line art from the mirror. So basically I'm just going to add like, probably I'm going to change the legs because those are wrong. Here the torso is good. That is good, and I'm probably going to make some, like, you know, some of those hairs like breaks like here, because like probably they should end here. There should be like part going here and then like piece going out here. Yeah, so there's going to be a lot of changes, and basically when we are going to work on Ollie, we're going to actually also do similar thing like with the line art. Like we're going, because she's far away, the mirror one looks like having a really long hair. Yeah, but over here you have the towel, and the towel here is covering the bottom part, right? Over here you have the back. So it's like the hairs are getting squeezed by the towel, which they are. But yeah, from the mirror perspective, like those hairs should be like that. Mirror one doesn't have the hand either. Yeah. You know, I think I've actually, because the mirror kinda like cuts it out. It would make it too busy there, yeah. The hand would make it too busy there, and like I think the mirror is close enough to, and the hand is so far away, it's not showing in the mirror generally. Right? Because I would say that the mirror is like this close. But it just wouldn't show. I don't know, it's difficult to draw mirrors. You are, so I might be wrong in many places, so I'm going to do my best to correct the mirror, because I see those things. I did notice that the mirror image is not actually properly done, and yeah. Thanks for noticing. Thanks for noticing. Just do a frost effect on it, like it's steamy there. Definitely would be steamy. I mean, what? Yeah, definitely. It might be a thing, like, you know, exercising it would be hot. You know? Why not? Okay. We might do something. Well, yeah. So there's going to be a lot of work on this one, so probably we're going to work on the illustrations. I really want to work on the objects, and I want to start making more of those like character arts with objects, weapons and stuff, and start inputting them as illustrations. So we're going to have character artworks. So character designs, we're going to have those character arts similar to those. Probably we're going to go for now with Vtubers and stuff. Do you plan to add sweat stains spots? You have the sweat dripping from her. It's marked with line art for now, but there's definitely going to be some parts, but not on the clothing. Yeah, but on clothes, no, not on the clothing. Or maybe I should, like, adding a huge sweat spot here. And like somewhere here. She doesn't really have much clothing to actually be affected as much by this, you know, by the sweat. Actually, I don't think pants would be wet like that. Maybe around the knees, like here on the thighs, on the sides. But I don't think pants would be affected as much. Don't, yeah. That's what I thought. I'm not really sure if that's a good idea. But yeah, we already got it. So I'm thinking about doing illustrations like that for now, to get into working with objects. Zombie girl, so cute, yeah. She looks like a little popstar. It wouldn't make sense. Why it wouldn't make sense? Sweat spots? Sweat stains? She just had like based on the story behind it, she just had like massive exercise. She would be sweaty. She would be like actually sweaty, and she is sweaty. So it's like stains out of sweat on her clothes would make sense. But like, it would be difficult for her to have so much sweat on her to get so much sweaty. Like, for sure, like around here, around this area, because that would sweat a lot. This entire area would sweat a lot because, like, it would go through from, like, head, neck, here, the chest, right? Like, between under breasts. Armpits, like the brow would be affected a lot by the sweats, so she would have a lot of like sweat stains if we would go for like very realistic and like very like, you know, very specific render of her, unless it's already soaked. Yeah, unless it's already soaked. But yeah, I don't think actually going for sweat stains, yeah, sweat stains is a good idea for this illustration. I don't think that's something I want to go for. I think like adding some sweat stains here on the back is going to be good, because showing like, hey, she's actually sweating also on the back, right? I could, and to be fair, like for lols, for example, I could add, I was just curious, it might look bad, yeah. Because to be fair, I could add here around the chest and here around the ass, because that's where the sweat usually, like, gathers. So, that's that. If I would have to add it, that's probably where it would be added, right? But, again, I want to have, like, more like, hey, look how beautiful after workout that is, right? And definitely like sweaty, wet rat trying to look hot, definitely. So yeah. So we are probably going to start working on Kronii after everything, and we're going to start going on. So the main idea with those illustrations is going to like start me getting into more advanced stuff, like getting into like, objects, getting into backgrounds, adding more from the backgrounds, like flooring, walls, but like enclosing it, so like kind of doing what Huion does in some of his illustrations. Because there are like also, you know, artworks with full characters, there are artworks with you know, with those things like brands. There's like crescent moon that just dropped, and there's like full dark, there are like some waviness, and there's some like parts, etc. And that works, but then you have like olives as a reference photo, right, for the character design. You have like circular background behind. You don't have like ground, but you have like, you know, objects around the character, right, like telling the story of the character, so more or less this idea. But then we have the stag beetle, you know, character design, where you have a full-on illustration with like characters sitting on a tree, perspectives and stuff. So like I think like this. If you want to flip the legs, mirroring the mirror part seems to work. Yeah, for sure it's going to work. Mirroring the mirror parts, yeah. I mean, most likely if I take that pelvis, copy it and paste here, reversed, and then just draw like offshooting part of the leg, it's just going to work perfectly fine. It's just going to work perfectly fine. All I need to do is just copying and pasting the legs. But yeah, that's that. So I'm going to keep this as background and foreground. So foreground is Kronii in her mirror image, and the background is just, you know, everything else. But yeah. So knowing now how I want to slowly start introducing more illustrations, I guess we can prepare for more work later on. So like, hey, let's do our best actually on those illustrations. I'm really hoping to, you know, be able to finish that Kronii in the next stream. Not sure how the objects are going to take me. For sure Ollie is going to be like very lightly shaded because again she's very far away, right? So she's not going to have many details. Again, rules of the illustrations, right? The closer something is, the more details it has. The more far away something is, the less details it's going to have. So it's kind of the same as in normal life. If you are looking at something from very, very far away, no matter how good your eyesight is, at a certain point they are losing details, right? They are becoming blobs. So that's your eyesight range. And that's every person's with good eyesight range too, right? If you have good eyesight, 20/20. But again, you are just going to have some troubles. So you are going to lose the shape, they're going to get all together. That's why, for example, you don't want very dense, very thick line work, because you want to have those quote-unquote objects of the illustration. Even characters are objects of the illustration. You want them to have very light line art, if any. Sometimes no line art whatsoever, and just painted with very simple shading, and that's it. Very simple shading, very simple coloring, nothing too bad. Like, you're looking, and first thing is Kronii, right? And then you look and you have Ollie, right? And then you look at the ground and you see the rest of the thing. So it's literally like top to bottom eye travel, right? Because it's also something you want to look at, right? So it's going like that. You have face of the Kronii. You go to all. Damn. You go to Ollie. And you have the things, right? Because Ollie is bringing your eyesight to the lower portion of Kronii, and you are seeing the, you know, you are seeing all the bits and pieces that actually are in the illustration. So that's that. And surprise, surprise, that's something that a lot of people also don't really think about when making illustrations, because the only professional illustration artists actually think about that, because they are, well, working with illustrations. They have to know all tips and tricks they can go for. But when people are sitting down not making any illustrations before, they just don't know about this. They don't know that you're supposed to have like some sort of composition, right? So that's that. You can even say that we have a golden ratio composition, because like, see, it's very specific, but through, right? From the face to the booba to Ollie to the objects on the ground. So basically, yeah, you also really need to think about like your composition and where things are placed to ensure that everything is just, you know, properly done, right? For example, Ollie's placed in this very specific place because her colors are very eye-catching. Red, right? It's very eye-catching. But the blue and the size of Kronii is overpowering that eye-catching red, right? So first thing you are going to look at is still going to be Kronii. And I've added blue around her face because she's pale, right? Her character design is pale. I find it easier to do a stick figure first, and if it looks good, the final one will look fine too. If not, it's a lot easier to fix it in that stage. Yeah, but this is exactly how making a composition looks like. You're just making lines and that's it. So, for example, you can have different... You're first making composition, then you are making your perspective points based on your composition. Then you are placing your characters, then you are making all the details, bells and whistles. This is literally the entire pipeline of making illustrations. And actually a lot of people are skipping, you know, those first two steps and they are just diving into everything. But literally making a stick figure is what a lot of illustration artists are doing. If I try to do some quick composition and proportions will be screwed up for sure. I mean, it depends how you're looking at it. Look, simple composition, right? With stick figures I can do the right proportions from the get-go. Here's the thing, because you are making a composition, right? So let's say we have composition like that. Then we have our horizon line. Let's mark it with like 25 pixel thingy. I want horizon to be here, right? So next we have our, you know, point of perspective. I'm not talking about full drawing. Yeah, but I want to show you how you can add, you know, where the thing is. I'm just doing characters in poses. Yeah. I just want to show you how you can add your characters' poses into the composition and stuff, right? So you are starting to have your point, right? We know that the perspective point of view, whatever, is the varnishing point actually, because everything varnishes into that point. So basically after that we have 1 point perspective, that's what's known, and basically now we can draw characters into that, right? So how do you add character into your drawing? So we know that this is our horizon line, right? So quite often I draw horizon like a couple times because usually my varnishing point is on my horizon line, but whatever. So let's say we are going to draw some buildings, right? Also keeping things interesting and realistic, the buildings will bend. So basically like you want to keep things straight with it, right? So now knowing this, look here. Tap, 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 and it goes up here. This sound like you call it varnishing points. I don't know. So then you are drawing things like this. So you are placing a 3D cube on the thing, right? Because you are going to be, you know, you are going to have easier life just working with something like that. So you know how your cube works, right? So now you are taking this and you are you know, here's the middle, right? And you are just, you know, sketching your character into this. There's the body, there's pelvis, legs, feet. Right? Of course, I'm not paying attention to the proportions as much right now, but simply as that, you can just add your character into the, you know, into the illustration, right? So you are making a box for them just to know where you want to place them, and based on that, you in that box you have to keep your entire character. I can do the same thing even without the box. You just need the box to know where the perspective is going at certain point, right? Because again, to sketch things properly, you need to build structure for the character. I haven't started drawing 3D shapes yet. I see. So if you like go with 3D shapes, right? You can just really, when you start going with 3D shapes, that's why I said like it's good to start with them and learn from them really quickly, because you can really quickly expand into different things you want to do. Right? That's why I've said in those couple, you know, episodes of the tutorial I was doing, that's why I've said that 3D shapes are going to be one of the main tools that you are going to use. Because literally, if you are building your structure with those, foreshortening goes off. Placing things into illustration goes off. Objects, characters, animals, nature goes off, because everything can be constructed with them. Everything can have a 3D shape assigned to it. And it can be placed into illustrations, it can be placed into character arts, character designs, yada yada yada. So literally, if you start building your characters with them, you are going to unlock like a next stage of your art craft, basically. It's going to be mind-blowing how easily it's going to get for you to draw characters if you are going to make your base, your structure, your skeleton for the character with 3D shapes. How easily it's going to be for you to make very dynamic poses, right? So that's the general idea behind it. If you really struggle with dynamic poses, if you struggle with placing characters into illustrations, 3D shapes, you want to have that illusion of 3 dimensions, right? You want to have that depth. The reason why your illustrations might look flat, the reason why your illustrations might look off, is literally because you didn't took 3rd dimension into your mind while making that illustration. So that's why it's like very elementary step for people while learning to draw to get into three dimensions and start using 3 dimensions while drawing, like 3D shapes while drawing, right? So that's that. Okay, we are almost 3 hours. I've mentioned I'm going to make a longer stream. I didn't expect to stream for 3 hours. Oh man. I might not even be able to make myself the thing, because I might go to bed soon. I've been recently actually going to sleep very early, because I have to go to my doggo and just basically, you know, sleep with him, right, in the bed, like, because he can't be closed because he gets, you know, the doggo anxiety. No? What do you mean no? You don't want me to end yet? But yeah, I've been streaming longer than usually. I'm happy. I'm really happy. Soup? Oh, soup. I might actually make the soup and pull off an additional hour of work. Probably it's going to be less than an hour to work on that chapter. And probably tomorrow I'm going to sit down and start translating this, and not sure. I think I'm going to sit down and have a good session of programming in C#. Yeah. I think that's what I'm going to do. I haven't had like really good long session of C#. Yep. Where are you at? I'm just slow. I've had just like a page or two of a progress. So I'm not really that far from the very beginning, and I think it took me way too long to actually pursue. So I think I'm going to start the second part from the very beginning, because I'm not even that far into it. I didn't even finish the first chapter from it. So I'm going to start the second... Yeah, I think tomorrow I'm going to start the second part from the very beginning, because really, I've been doing it way too slow. I've been absorbing the information way too slowly. But to be fair, the mini game that I've made at the very end of the first part, that was the bomb. It's really cool to see how even simple things can be done. And it really shows a lot of things. I can't wait to start doing more complex things. And I believe, and you've already warned me, Zaga, that now it's going to be, you know, the shit, right? Like that's going to be the shit that a lot of people are mostly looking for. So I'm really looking up for more interesting, yeah. Exactly, it's going to be the more interesting part from now on. So I really want to... The oop part, yeah, exactly. So I really want to get into that with like refreshed mind and like without any bother, and actually start juggling my projects properly. Properly. So the comic book, the manga, is going to be done actually on streams. I'm going to make the dialogue part on off streams. That's going to be on the only part, I think, that I'm going to make off streams. I'm going to have like so off streams I'm going to have like game making things and book. So I'm going to just juggle between those two things. I'm going to focus more on programming because I have way more steps. And most likely now as my mom is going to come back, I'm going to spend some more time with her. You know, probably writing the book while, you know, sitting with her, watching some horror movies or just movies, because we can actually start watching some of the criminal series that she was watching. So yeah, I'm really happy I came back to Hololive. You have no idea how happy I am. I'm really happy. I just couldn't stop like drawing this illustration. I really like drawing. I don't know, it just gives me like happiness working on those. I would be heartbroken if I would be like pushed away from the, like, you know, general concept of that. So yeah, I just... I don't really have that many projects to juggle with, and I still like... My messed up brain is not allowing me to like put everything into that, right? So definitely I'm going to start doing something about it and start progressing with... I have to start progressing with those. I've had really good, like... I can slowly start getting into that like way how I've been pursuing stuff. Like I've had, for example, some... The drawing looks great, thank you. I really appreciate that. So I think we are going to pursue further the character design concept. After that, after this illustration, we are going to work on the comic book. And I I think after some works on the comic book, which is just going to be some fast sketching, we're going to probably try to sketch out and rework the cover page, because I really don't like the way how it looks like right now. Need to go. Bye bye Muto, bye bye. So basically we're going to, you know, do our magic and try to pursue some more work on the cover art for the manga. We're going to start making proper sketches, not construction. And I think we're going to sit down after that and work on some stream resources. And because I really want to have new layout, the current layout looks kind of bad. I'll be real with you, the new layout looks kind of bad. I need to kind of figure out how to work on some stuff. And I need to figure out how I want to have a better layout. Because I really want to have, like, you know, for you, I want to have better view for you, and I want to have, you know, possibility to work on some different stuff. Like, for example, when I'm going to turn on, you know, Vroid, I want to have a scene for that, right? So we are going to have Clip Studio Paint in the corner, in the corner where the Clip Studio Paint is going to be. We are going to have the you know, the thing going on, right? Like how I'm making my textures. I'm going to have my Vroid opened, so I could also work in the future on Vroids, as I've promised that I'm going to do so. I want to have some better, you know, asset price thing, some better asset price scene. I want to have, and I don't know about. I don't know if I want to have a how's it called? God save me, I can't remember. I don't know if I want to have any gaming scenes anymore. I'm going to be real with you. I'm pondering starting a separate channel where I would just sit down and play games for people interested. Because I've noticed that my channel became very like you know, art enthusiasts. Like I am the artist, right? It's not like I'm playing games and just on the side I'm drawing, right? I'm mostly drawing, and I don't think people are going to be interested, coming to this channel are going to be mostly interested also in seeing me playing games, even though I really would want to, because Kazan is having a premiere soon. And I think starting off such new channel would be really cool with playing Kazan on streams, right? But there will be a lot of different stuff involved into that. Like, for example, we are going to have split streams between two different channels. Like, I'm going to stream on art in those days. I'm going to stream on gameplay on channel in those days, right? So that's a bit problematic for me, because I know, you know, that I'm really fixated on art and I really love art, but I also want to, you know, I've always felt like playing games was really helping me to pursue also some games that I wanted to play. But on the other hand, it's not really that difficult for me to sit down and play game outside of it. And I think I would want to try to play games off stream, try to play games for like an hour or two just to rest between projects and just continue doing it like this. I really need a routine in my life. I really need to live by routine, and I need to manage my routine. I don't know, because otherwise, like when my day is very chaotic and I'm way out of my routine, I just don't do anything during the day. I've noticed. I don't even play games. I just sit like a couch potato and I don't do anything. I watch YouTube. I'm struggling doing anything. I'm struggling to draw. I'm struggling to play. I'm struggling to work on any project. I'm just procrastinating mostly. So that being said, I really need to figure out how I want to, you know, work on a project, take a break, work on a project, stream, work on a project, right? So like definitely like manage my life in a way that I could have that and manage work. You know what I'm saying? So I'll be frank, it's really difficult for me to it's really difficult for me to just, you know, generally go through all of that. And, you know, basically, for sure, until my months won't come back and until I won't get back to work, I won't be able to really perfect my thing. And for now, I want to at least get used to working on those projects. And when the work is going to come back, I'm going to, you know, work is going to come back to my day. I'm going to actually get in and, you know, update my routine with work, right? So that's that. But yeah, we have 3 hours already on the counter, so folks, let me take my soup and work on the book just so I could quickly speedrun the translating tomorrow. Thanks Zega for being active in the chat on Twitch, thanks Uncle, thanks Skylar, Star, Lord, Muto, and Kyojiro for being active in the chat on YouTube, and as always folks, stay creative, and I hope to see you all in the next stream. Take care and bye.